Welcome to Behind the Lash Chair. I'm your host, Alexis Weisenburger, founder and owner of AW Lashes. My goal is to help you as a lash artist grow with tips and tricks on lashing, becoming an entrepreneur, marketing, and so much more. This is an amazing place to find free resources and connect with lash artists all around the world. Let's get started. Hey, you guys, I'm so excited for this week's podcast. We are bringing back the OG Cruising the Lash Lounge on Facebook, Instagram, all the lounges, and answering questions and having great conversations. I have Christine, our CEO and amazing marketing guru, and we got Karanda, who is a fashion expertise, and she is also our Instagram guru and all the amazing things Karanda does. And we have me, Alexis, who's a lash artist.
No,
so let's prove.
And more than that, we love you.
Okay, so let's prove these. Let's do it, you guys. How are you? It's been so long since we've done one.
I know. Been a minute.
You know that people have to be missing these. Like they just have to be sitting at home like,
for sure.
Wow, I wish there was another.
I wish Karanda, Alexis, and Christine would just sit around and just chat with each other and I could listen into their conversations because we are entertaining for sure.
That's fun.
If it helps, I am totally eating a box of crumble cookies like here and there while we're chatting. So that's where we're at.
I made a chocolate cake, so that's
I'm just deep conditioning my hair right now. I wish I was eating chocolate cookies. The heck?
Right.
Okay.
I have some great ones.
Okay, go for it, Alexis.
You. Okay.
Go for it.
So as I was scrolling, I found a goodie, and I've done this once, and it was preparing your clients for maternity leave. Help, I don't know what to tell them or how to handle it. Oh, maternity leave. Oh.
And like as a client, you have to be so excited, but you're also, there's that part of you that's like, no, please.
Yeah. I mean, you're scared to lose your clients because you're like, oh, I hope they come back to me.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, you're kind of like, hey, be nice. Like, I want to go enjoy my baby. Like, let me have a few months off and enjoy them. Like, I'm sorry, your lashes are just going to have to be taken somewhere else.
Did you get any negative feedback when you told your clients that you were going on maternity leave? Did any of them react negatively?
I mean, it was more like a backhanded compliment. It was like, oh, I'm so excited, but like, what am I gonna do with my lashes? Like, this really sucks for my lashes. And you're like, oh, glad you're gonna miss me. And then once again, the backhanded like
is like not as important as your lashes, but hey, it's all good.
Yeah. But I get it because it's people's, every 2 weeks kind of thing. So they're like, hey, this is important to me and you're throwing me off my schedule. So I think the most important thing is just to have a network of like at least 2, 3, or 4 people they can go to so they can make the decision. Because what I struggled with was like, I can't tell you like, oh, this person is going to be exactly like me. Like you won't miss me. You'll be just fine. But at the same time, like, I don't want to make the choice. And, so I gave them a few options and kind of let them decide who they wanted to go to or if they wanted to try all of them before they made that commitment.
Well, and I think that's right too, because, every lash artist has kind of their own, areas where they're experts in them and they kind of have their own flair and they do things their own way. Even if you have similar lash artists, people who've been trained by the same people, every one of you is an individual and an artist. And so the art that you're literally creating in people's eyes is going to be different person to person. So I think that's a fantastic idea to give them a couple of options. They can go stalk them on Instagram, check out their work and see which one they think they're going to jive with the most. Absolutely.
For sure.
Great way to handle it.
It's also a lot about like taste, because if you had like you were in a situation where you're in a salon or you have a group of booth renters and you send everyone to one girl, you could also kind of get in hot water with like your other friends or the girls in your salon, like, oh, you didn't send anybody to me, but you sent everyone to whatever, who enter any girl's name. because then like if you leave it up to your client and their taste and their style, what they like, then they'll naturally gravitate toward, you know, the person that's best for them, and that will kind of diversify itself.
Oh, you're totally right. That, I mean, I remember just like owning the salon, and I just felt like a lot of pressure of like, I can't pick for you guys. Like, I own the salon. I have to treat everyone equally. So like I did give them everyone's names. And I think also like another challenge is everyone charges differently. So that was like an obstacle of like, uh, you might like her. She's been doing it a little bit longer, but she's going to be more, or this person's going to be less. And so kind of like playing with that, because some people are like, oh, I want to pay the exact same. And I'm like, well, like, no one charges the exact same, or just one person does. And things like that. Like, there was one lady that, she only worked once a week, and she charged a lot more because she had, 5 spots to fill every week, and that's it. So, and versus me, I was like $10 cheaper. But, some people, when they hear $10 more, it's like, well, then who's your price or $10 cheaper?
Right.
So
well, it's hard too, because, sorry, go ahead.
Nope. I was just going to say, I really do think that that's the best way to approach it. Just have kind of a network and talk to those people, reach out to your friends and other lash artists and say, hey, I'm pregnant. Yay. And I want to be able to refer my clients out. Would you be willing? Are you taking clients? And get a short list of people, and then give your clients the option. Say, hey, I've reached out to all these lash artists. They're all amazing. Reach out to them, see which one you like the best, go check them out, and then that puts it all in their hands.
Right. I feel like the hardest part actually would be like having that conversation, like, hey, I will be back in 2 months, or I'll be back in 6 weeks or 3 months. Like, how do you get them to be like, listen, you love me, like, yes, these are my friends, I recommend them, they're amazing, but like, please come back.
I mean, I think the fact, and I always used to tell people at the salon, because I mean, before I even had my daughter, I didn't have the experience of like going on maternity leave, but like based on what I would see and what would happen, and it's unfortunate, is you will lose a percentage of your clients, just because, unfortunately, they'll fall in love with someone's personality, or, they might be $10 cheaper and they feel like it's the same work, or, oh, you sent me a list of people and this person's 10 minutes closer to my house. So I think, there is going to be a hit on your clientele, whether it's 10%, zero. I mean, maybe you don't lose any, but I do feel like, you'll lose at least maybe just one person, unfortunately, just because they maybe found a better situation. But it's nothing like situation of your work. It's just a situation of like, oh, this person's closer, this person's cheaper, and they do have 3 months to go out and do their research. And that's, I think, just like the unfortunate part. But also, like, you're going to have a baby, and it's going to be so exciting, and it's going to be such an amazing chapter of your life. Like, that 1 or 2 people that you lose, like, who cares? Like, you'll feel it. You'll come back to work, or maybe you even wanted to take more time off and ease back into work anyways.
Okay, I have one here. I'm really struggling to lash a regular client who has very small eyes with lots of skin around them. I did a set of lashes on her today, but the ends and the inners were virtually stuck together. I thought my isolation was on point. I was lashing on a chair, though, and the head position was different. But other than that, the pads seemed to be in the correct position. But it's the skin area around her eyes, combined with them not being very wide, is not helping. Any tips for taping back, not sticking her eyes together? I feel like this is a huge setback, and she wants to be a regular.
Ooh. Dang, that's tough. I relate to that, like, not necessarily because of my eye shape or because of the skin around my eyes. Like, I have pretty almond shaped eyes, and I mean, I don't feel like I have like a lot of wrinkly skin or like anything, but my skin is super oily. And so it's kind of the same thing, that like the pads will slip up and then my eyes kind of squint. And so that's actually a really good question, because it applies to multiple things, like multiple situations.
Yeah. And I think it could be two parts too. I mean, I think it could be whether, she needs to like use the tape and like spread out the eyelids so there's like more time to dry. Or maybe it could be like the dry time of the adhesive, maybe for that client specifically, like since, things are more close together, maybe she just needs a faster glue.
So it sets up
Mm.
faster. Doesn't have time to
Yeah.
stick there. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, those are the first things I thought of. Or, I mean, it sucks to hold your isolation longer, but maybe that person is kind of needing you to do that.
Yeah. So as you're isolating, hold it, place the lash, use a fast drying glue, let it dry a little bit longer, and then move. And maybe even more nebulizing or misting in between to really set that adhesive more quickly as well. Cure it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I think that. And I mean, maybe at the end, like some super bond to like seal it. Like, so like Miranda said, she's oily. Maybe, locking in the bond would help.
You oily girl.
Really Corona. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, or possibly just using a better primer from the beginning, because then like your lashes will stick on faster and then you can just, get it through quicker, like you were saying, with a faster adhesive.
I did see someone post that they even primed the lash extensions before they
Yeah.
glued them on, just to make the base a little bit more dry.
Ooh, I've never heard of that, but that's actually brilliant.
And I loved your idea with the tape, though, using the tape, taping a little bit differently to actually spread the lash line a little bit more for while you're lashing. I think that a faster drying adhesive, holding the isolation a little bit longer, curing the adhesive more completely so that her lashes don't get glued together. All of those are great tips for her. Okay, who's up next? Miranda,
Okay, wait, I have one. Yeah, this is so funny. Alexis, I want to know if this ever happened to you. This girl, it's actually a tweet, and she said, I have to be good friends with my lash tech so that I trust her to go through my phone and respond to my texts while my eyes are shut. Has anybody ever asked you to text somebody back while they were on the table? I've actually had my lash girl do that.
Daily.
Yeah.
Oh, all the time.
I do that to my lash girl.
Yeah, that is, I mean, I've never gotten like an interesting picture or anything, but usually it's more like, hey,
funny.
what's my kid saying? Or, I'm sure Christine is. When you,
I'm like sitting here in my corner thinking, oh, JC, how many times have you had to answer a call for me and text for me and respond and be in the middle of everything because, life doesn't stop when you're getting your lashes done.
Yeah.
I am totally guilty
It'd be
of
nice
that.
if it did.
Right?
That's so funny. So Alexis, you've never seen anything like crazy, like anything somebody responds to a text and it's like, oh, probably wasn't supposed to see that, like higher up in the chat or whatever. I'm too nosy, dude.
I wish I saw something juicy. I mean, I've done like high class people to where they like they're married to like someone who's important, and I don't like I don't talk about like, oh, they're fighting or they're thinking about divorce or things. Like I never mention people, like, even though I feel like I could really dish some good stuff, when I was doing their lashes. But I always kept even their stuff for like private, and I think they always respected that. But I've never like gotten like a penis picture or anything like that. So I'm like,
you had to go there.
I have not.
We should do, I don't know, if anyone's listening to this and you have a crazy story, send us a DM and maybe we'll send you like a Starbucks gift card or something if it's really funny.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I want to hear about those.
Yeah, mine were.
That's hilarious.
I'm sure there's some good ones. I'm sure, because it also depends on your clientele. And I remember when I first moved here, I had like a few strippers that would come to me before like I raised my prices and a few things, and they always had the best stories, but I never responded. But I'm sure if I scrolled in their phone, I would have found something really juicy.
Probably.
Okay, I have one.
That's so funny.
This isn't necessarily a post, but this is something I've been seeing going around, and there have been a lot of people weighing in on this for pros and cons. So some lash artists recently have been posting a tip where they've taken like the nasal sprays, the allergy nasal sprays, and using it to apply to their clients' lash lines for those lash artists that have sensitivities and that are having allergic reactions to the adhesives and things like that. So they're actually, before the lash service, again, applying like nasal sprays, those allergy nasal sprays, right to people's lash lines. And obviously some people are responding to this and saying, oh my heavens, where has this tip been all my lash life? And thinking this is like the best thing since sliced bread. And then other people are responding saying, hey, we should not be applying medications. We don't have those types of licenses. You could get in trouble. You don't want to not be protected legally because if you're applying medications and those types of things. Thoughts on that?
Ooh, that one's that one's tricky. I mean, I think a good balance of how I would be neutral in this would be, I would tell them about the, hey, I've heard this really helps with sensitivity. You should buy it and apply it before you come to your appointment.
Right.
If you want to try it at your own risk.
I was actually just thinking, hey, tell them to go get the nasal spray and bring some Q-tips with them. And they can go in the bathroom and they can bring it themselves, bring their own Q-tips, bring their own nasal spray medication, go apply it to the Q-tip and apply it to their lash line, and then come out and have their appointment.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's totally at their risk of, hey, you go apply it and you do everything and you buy it. And then I'll just do your lashes and you just let me know if it works. And then if it doesn't, like, I'm sorry, but if it does, great. Like, I'm glad we figured it out.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that. That's so interesting. I don't think that I would want allergy medicine. Like, I don't know. Because it has to be like,
Yeah. I used like an allergy cream before. And I actually did apply it. So I'm now taking a side of the group. So that's not good.
Girl.
But I think I should have just had them apply it.
Yeah. I mean, here's my next question though, is what are in those medications and can it also affect the lash retention? Because I would think like hydrocortisone cream, what's it actually doing to the hair follicles and things like that as well?
I mean, I think it depends on the ingredient list. Like, I mean, first of all, if there's oil, it's like,
let's go put oil right before your lash appointment.
True.
I mean, it also depends on how bad the allergy is. Like I had some people just with mild reactions and we would just like wipe their eyes down with, water and lash bath at the end.
Yep.
And that seemed to like take away any of like the residue fumes on it. Around their eyelid, but if it's definitely more severe, like a cream would probably be more helpful. But you also need to weigh out the risk of like, I always used to tell people because they love their lashes and they're willing to have this crazy reaction. And then I'm like, you guys are crazy. Like, just like, I know you love your lashes, but like, maybe let's just try strips. I won't be offended. Like, let's not have red eyes for 3 to 4 days.
Right. Well, and here's the thing too. I mean, if you have clients that have some sensitivities, there's a lot of things you can do. You can use a fast drying adhesive, for example, like intensity or velocity, where it's drying quickly, because then that means it's curing. So there isn't as much time for the fumes to irritate eyes. You can also, make sure that you're using like a nebulizer constantly throughout the appointment, again, to cure the adhesive, cut down on the fumes, using like super bond at the end of the appointment. Again, you're trying to cure that adhesive as quickly as possible because once it's cured, it's going to cause less reactions. There's not the fumes and all of those types of things. So some of those things can help a sensitive client. But yeah, quite frankly, I mean, if you have a client that knows they have sensitivities, I guess it's up to them.
It's so hard though, because I know people love their lashes, and, you know, it sometimes happens like over time too, like they've never had an issue, and then slowly it's a little bit, and then it's a little bit more and a little bit more. And they're like, I don't know what to do. Like, no, I can't take them off. And you're like, I'm so sorry. Like, I know you for years, so it sucks for all of us. But, I think there's a point where it gets just too much. And like, even the lash artist gets uncomfortable and needs to draw the line, because you're like, okay, like you've sent me pictures. This is crazy. I wouldn't go in public if I were you.
Right. Well, and I do think that also brings up the flip side of this. Okay, we're talking about, reactions and things like that, but I also think that this brings up that point about, being legally responsible. Number one, you better have forms that people have signed to protect your rear end, because there are going to be people who have allergic reactions, and they're going to try and just blame it on you. No matter what you've told them verbally, you need to have something in writing where they have assessed the risk and they have accepted that risk, and they're not going to hold you liable or responsible. So you need to make sure that you are having those forms. And on those forms somewhere, you need to ask people if they've had previous reactions to lash extensions, because usually once you develop a sensitivity or an allergic reaction to adhesives, you will always have it. So you need to make sure you're asking, hey, have you ever had an allergy to lash extensions before? Because you need that information too if you're taking them on as a new client. You need to have them sign that. And then I do agree, if you start applying medications to the lash line, say they come back and sue you because they have a crazy bad reaction, they can bring up, well, she put medicine on my eyelids, and you could lose your license, your business, everything. So I do agree that you can try those things, but I would say let them do it themselves, let them buy it, let them try it. Just make sure you're protected legally too.
Yeah, because it's all fun and games until it really does come down to your eyes, and how important those are. And if it's damaged in any way, someone is going to freak out. And and also, like, they're only your friend until something happens too.
Exactly.
Unfortunately,
Okay.
that's the world.
I know.
All right, let's move on.
No, it's true.
On that fun note, I just can't.
I have one. It is whether or not we should charge to include a lash wash or a lash bath in your services.
Ooh, this has been a hot topic too.
Okay, I've seen a lot of our influencers and creators and like our artists post about this. Like, I know that Chantel specifically says, like, if you come beforehand and you've washed your lashes, then we'll start the set. But if you haven't, like, we are washing your lashes before you start, and I'm charging you for them, because you don't want to work on like a gross canvas, or you don't want to be laying, clean, fresh fans on top of dirty lashes or on top of buildup.
Oh, totally. And I think it also comes down to, like, I do know a few people, because they're like, oh, they're they're more expensive than you. Like, they're 100 and, 95, and you're 170. I'm just throwing out numbers. Why are they more? And sometimes it's like, oh, well, they included a lash wash and I didn't, and you should get one after, So I think it's
Right,
like whether
exactly.
you should like include that into your service of, and also specify, maybe why you are a little bit more expensive, like lash wash included. This is a must have. I think that's really important. Or like throw a special out that's not really a special, but you say it includes a free aftercare products when they purchase a full set. So it helps you out. You run a special, and everyone wins.
Yeah, that's a good point. I would happily pay extra for a wash and then having my lashes put like a sealer on them, like Super Bond, if it came down to somebody saying like, oh, we're not going to do that, and I'll like save you $10. I think in my head I would be like, no, I'd rather you do it, because that's what I want.
Yeah. And I think having that conversation of why it's important, because some people, like, when you start asking about a lash wash or a lash bath or anything of the aftercare, they kind of are like, oh, they're just trying to upcharge me. They're just trying to get more money out of me. And it's kind of like, well, I don't know what you're going to do when you get home and, you know, you put something bad on your lashes and they, you know, like, I don't think it's just educating them too, but I think, I don't know. I used to always include it in my full sets. And then when I would notice, you know, they come back and their lashes are dirty, it was also a good conversation of like, hey, you know, that like that lash bath I gave you, like, are you using it? You know, they'd be like, oh, I just don't understand. So then it was a good conversation of like, let me show you. So they already had the tools at home. They just didn't know how and those types of things. But then again, my full sets were more. So
right. So you would give every client after a set, you would give them a bottle of lash bath to take home.
yeah, I would. A new full set. And then every once in a while, you know, like we are super nice over Black Friday. It's our biggest sale of the year. I remember just stocking up on lash wash and lash bath and aftercare products. And that's what I would give my clients for Christmas, actually, is, you know, a bath for them, you know, a 30, like the smaller bottle, but it was a nice gift that they would use and they all needed it. So I would do things like that to also like make them keep up on it and not have the excuse that they didn't have it, as well as like clients are super generous around the holidays and they always would give me, you know, gift cards and bigger tips. So it all equaled out. If not, I always was the one winning for the holidays anyways.
And sorry, I'm going to go off on a little bit of a tangent here because let's face it, like one of the most frequent posts I see on Instagram or anything is about clients needing to wash their lashes. And quite honestly, yes, you do. And especially if you wear makeup or anything. But one thing I feel like we don't talk about is why you need to wash your lashes. Okay. Because for example, I am a person who is naturally really lazy about makeup. And now having had lashes for the last year and a half or whatever, I wear like no makeup. So I don't ever have the buildup or anything like that. And so most of those arguments where they're talking about, oh, to get rid of the buildup, but that's not the only reason why you need to wash your lashes. And this is, I feel like, is missing, because what people need to understand is that your body has a natural system for cleaning your lashes. So blinking, tears, those types of things, your body takes care of your lashes. Because if you think about it, it's kind of a foreign concept a little bit to like brush your lashes and wash just your lashes. You wash your face, you wash your body, but you don't like usually segment out and think about washing your lashes, of course, until you get lash extensions. But the reason is because your body kind of self-cleans. As you wash your face, you get rid of any additional oils, those types of things. But your eyes are made to naturally like make sure they're clean. That's why you don't hear about people getting like all the bad things that you get with lash extensions if you don't wash your lashes. But the problem is once you put those lash extensions on your natural lashes, you are then blocking those natural processes of your body to like clean them. So now you have to do it. Otherwise, you're going to get like gross things, bugs climbing in your lashes, build up. Oh, it's true. You know what I'm talking about. All you have to
I
do
knew you
is
were
go to a
going
lash
there.
training. You just have to go to a lash training and look at the pictures and you'll see the disgust. But, you know, and that's why where you're going to potentially get all that gross stuff. Or you guys have all seen those videos, like the horror story videos where like they're picking off that big chunks of makeup and buildup. And that's part of it is it's just because you've blocked those natural processes, you have to wash your lashes. And I think we're missing that piece when we talk to our clients, like saying, hey, your body does this naturally, but now that you have these extensions on there, you have to step in and help. That's why you've got to brush your lashes and you've got to be washing your lashes. I also think one of the tricky things is that there are so many lash cleansers out available on the market. The problem is so many of them burn. I mean, I have been told by numerous lash artists, like one thought she was being so sweet and kind and doing like what you were talking about, Alexis, where she had the person, she was getting ready to do the service, a full set. And so she's like, oh, I'll wash her lashes. And she had just taken an education session. This is from a different company. This is before AW even existed. And she had a cleanser from this company that she took this training from, and she put it on the person's eyes and their eyes started burning. Well, I am sorry. If you give a client a cleanser that is going to make their eyes burn or is not sensitive and all of those types of things, there's no way on earth they are going to use it. There's just no way. And you don't need, I see all of these cleansers and it's like they put all this stuff in. They're like, oh, it has this in it and it has this in it and it has this in it. But the thing is you don't need that. You need a gentle, extension safe cleanser. All it takes is washing them. It doesn't take special ingredients. It takes washing them and cleansing them. And with a sensitive cleanser made specifically for lash extensions to protect your lash extensions, but one that is super sensitive. And that's why I actually love like our story of how our lash cleanser was created. I'm not kidding. Like and Alexis, you could probably step in and tell this better because I'm going to tell it for you. But, Alexis went around and tried all of these different products from all these manufacturers when we were developing our lash cleanser. And her test was, can I open my eye in the middle of washing my lashes, and will it sting and burn? Because somebody is going to open their eyes. And so we couldn't find one. And so we went to a lab and had one specifically formulated just for us. So it's super sensitive and super gentle, but that means that you can use it every day and it doesn't sting, it doesn't burn, you're keeping your lashes clean, and you don't get gross stuff.
I remember when we were testing, I was the guy that helps us make our, US products. He doesn't know anything about lashes, obviously. And we're sitting there and he gave me like a few batches and he's like, why don't you go home and test them? And I was like, no, I can test them here. And I would squirt it and I'd stick it right in my eye. And he was like, what are you doing? And I'm like, well, this is how I test it. Like I can go home and test it once it's, once I know it doesn't sting. But like, I'm only going to take home the ones that don't sting, and he was like, oh, like, I was like, yeah, we really need something that gentle because like I've had clients where I'm even doing the lash bath for them and they open their eyes or, and then I watch people wash their lashes and they do open and they, look up and they get underneath and they do above. And so you open them whether, so I just remember that. And he was laughing at me because I was sticking stuff in my eye and then he started sticking popping stuff in his eye.
Chemicals in your eye. Just kidding. That's that's the good part too of using products that where they're from. They're all natural. They're like holistic ingredients. Like you should know what's in a product you're putting on your eyes.
I mean, and that's a really cool thing too. Like the lab that we use for our liquids and things like that, he will not even consider using anything that is in any way, shape, or form harmful to either humans or animals or anything like that. So everything is cruelty-free. It's 100% natural. I mean, seriously, it's the best stuff. And I know we just totally segmented, but that's my point is that we need to educate our clients as to why you need to wash your lashes, because I think it will make all the difference. If somebody knows why, and you're not just saying, oh, you just got to keep them clean for better retention. Okay, then it may or may not happen. But if you explain to them why and give them a little bit of the science and a little bit of the information behind it and make sure you have a gentle cleanser that they can use, I think it'll make all the difference.
No, I agree with that. Okay, no pressure, but who has the last golden topic?
I'll find one. I'll find a funny one. We need to end on a funny note.
We do need a funny one.
Oh my gosh. Okay, wait. This is actually hilarious because I see like products about this all the time. But this girl said, ladies, any advice? I want to learn how to do lashes, but I love having a comfortable back that doesn't hurt constantly.
I mean, yeah, that sounds pretty easy.
I do like that a lot of lash artists have started to like prioritize the comfort of the client, but also the comfort of themselves. But oh my gosh, that shade. I like having a back that doesn't hurt.
Right. I mean, there's a few jobs. I would say like my husband I remember when he was in dental school, he's like, how do you lean over all day? My back is killing me. And now he's used to it. So I think it's just kind of, unfortunately, any job that you lean into small spaces, you just have to sacrifice your back.
Have you ever found like, I know that you had talked before about products you used when you were pregnant and lashing, but do you feel like there's a stool that helps, or there's a bed that helps with like not having the lower back pain or pain in your shoulders when you're lashing?
Yeah, this is also kind of tricky because everyone's body shape is a little different. So like I am like tiny in a way of like I'm just small built. And I also like have like freakishly like whenever people watch me lash, they always comment of how tiny my hands are and things. Like it's just I guess I'm just grossly tiny to people. So I feel like I like to work in like weird different ways too. Like I love to put my legs underneath the massage table and kind of like get into like tiny little areas. And some people like to keep their legs open and like straddle a massage table, um, and things like that. So I think everyone's like how they move around a massage chair or a recliner and those types of things, I think we're just all built different. So it's hard to be like, you know what, like this worked great for me. And then someone is, like bigger, like, or like, Christine, you're super tall. So if I was to give you my space and you were to sit down, you'd be like, Alexis, like, this is so tiny. What are you doing? But so I even remember like, or like when I teach a class and I'd be like, okay, everyone take a turn, and they'd sit down in my chair. Some people would have to raise it or lower it or be like, oh, I can't even, my legs are too tall. I can't put them
Like
underneath
driving
here.
someone's car.
Yeah, exactly. So it's hard to recommend a certain thing, other than like, I love a massage table because I like to put my legs underneath and I can still even cross my legs and do things because I'm short. But I think if I was to recommend that to Christine, she would hate me and she'd have to straddle the table the whole time because she's so tall. Um, and just like types of body shapes like that. So I don't have a good answer. That's probably
Well,
terrible.
I think you need to find something that works for you and test different things. I mean, talk to other people, even share your height and all of those kinds of things and figure out a setup that works best for you. Because like we were just talking about, you use a massage table. Some people use recliners. Some people use fancy beds or this or that. You just need to figure out a setup that works best for you. And then in addition, make sure that as you are starting to book clients, give yourself time in between to stand up, to stretch, to move, to do something different, because I think that will also help make a world of difference.
Yeah. And I would say one thing that always helped, and, take this however you don't have to do this, but I used to like to work out before I'd go into work because then I kind of like moved and I stretched and got my heart rate going. So then when you're sitting all day, you kind of felt loose. Like as you're sitting there, you didn't get as stiff as quick. Even if I like going on a walk or, just rolling out before you started work, I think that would help significantly versus just like going straight to work and just sitting because you don't move. It's such a small area. You're just doing the same thing, 300 times and then seeing the next person and doing it 300 times. You're not moving unless you have to pee. And sometimes you're eating a granola bar and peeing at the same time.
Oh my gosh. Would you pee in the middle of a set? Like
I never would pee. Well, when I was pregnant, that's different. Like I would pee during a set, but I remember just being so booked with clients, especially around the holidays. I never scheduled a lunch. So I would definitely I didn't want to tell people because I was like, that's kind of weird. Like, and they would probably feel bad and like, you really need to schedule a lunch break. Like, why are you eating and peeing at the same time? But I just preferred it. So sometimes I would even sneak like, my salad and literally like take a few bites and like chew and pee and take a few bites and wash my hands and then put it in the fridge and chew on a piece of gum. So
if you came out of the bathroom holding a salad and chewing while also drying off your hands, I would be like, girl, what the heck is wrong with you? Like you need to sit
that
down
would
and take a
happen.
break.
Yeah,
Oh
that was daily. It was
you workaholic.
well, I also wanted to be off at a reasonable time. So if I like scheduled, that just meant like me staying later because, the lash artists don't get paid for breaks or paid time off. And I think finding maybe like a massage, and kind of investing into yourself to have a long-term career, or a chiropractor, or whatever you need to, help with your back. I think that would be.
This is a serious question, but can you I think you should be allowed to take massages or chiropractors or whatever and write them off if you're a lash artist, like as a tax deduction because of back pain.
That's something
that
we'll have to ask Haley, our bookkeeper.
Yeah, let's get on that. It would be bomb if you were like a lash artist and you had a friend that's a chiropractor, just like lash artists trade, or like you trade with content. Like every lash artist friend needs a chiropractor friend.
Oh, totally. And I do know like several people that do trades like that are lash artists. I think it's definitely something you need. Or, we found a place, it's called Relaxing Corner. I'll give them a shout out in Colorado. And it's $50 for a 40-minute massage. And it's super nice. It's walk-in. You just lay on the bed and they, push on your back. And that always was amazing and affordable.
And it's, if it's going to help you long term, and if it's going to help like put you in a better position to take more clients and make more money, then it is, again, everything's an investment. If it's putting you in a better position, or it's something that you're using to take care of yourself and your business.
So I guess, Coranda, to summarize what I feel like, of this comment is like, yeah, you might have some back pain, but like, didn't the other day I screenshot and send you a message where someone made like $2,000 in a day? Like, say what? Like, hey, my back can hurt, but I'll go pay for, $100 massage and still make about $2,000
a day. Man, I just need to start doing lashes. Bring on the 2 today. I'll work
real.
Your day.
Your back can hurt in Denver, or your back can hurt in Hawaii.
Right?
Well, and it's like you were saying with Ty, Alexis, like, I have friends who are dental hygienists and actually have now turned lash artists. But like, if you are a dentist, if you're a surgeon, if you're a lash girl, if you're a hair girl, like, there's always the opportunity that like, whatever you're doing, you're going to be like, oh, my back hurts, or my eyes hurt, or my wrists hurt, or, you could work at an office and like your wrists could hurt from typing all day. Like it's just a natural, byproduct of your career, but it's not something that should deter you.
Again, I just figure out things so that they are the best for you, and then definitely listen to your body, stretch, move, massages, all of those types of things. If this is something you really want, there are ways to figure it out and to minimize that. Another thing that people use sometimes are pre-made fans to actually make their sets faster. So also, so if you go faster if you're really good at isolation, isolate those things, and you use the pre-made fans and a fast drying adhesive, you can get people in and out and work less.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
So yeah, there's definitely ways around it. And I mean, I've been lashing for 10 years, and it's not like, I bend over and grab something off the floor and I'm like, oh, this dang lash back. Like, it definitely doesn't hurt like that.
Lash back. That's hilarious.
Like, I have never felt that. It's more like after a long day, you're like, okay, I'm going to be like the old lady in the retirement home with the hunchback. Like, but, after a day of stretching and, doing what you need to do and taking some, when you have your weekends off or your Sunday, Monday, you're ready to get back into it, and your body's fine. So if that's going to stop you, then man, what the heck?
Yeah. Then, you just maybe weren't cut out for this baller lifestyle, bro.
And you know what? And that's okay too. If it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you.
It doesn't work.
That's okay. So
yeah. Someone else will be making $2,000 a day.
Me.
And I will be paying them that money because I love having my lashes done. Happily.
All right, guys. I love our chats, and I'm so grateful for you guys. Like, you guys are what makes AW Lashes amazing. So I just have to thank you guys. It's been so long. You guys made me laugh today and all the things. So I just wanted to thank you, and thanks to our listeners too.
I
Yes.
love you. Yeah, I hope people like listening to these. You know, even if they don't, like we like recording them. Just kidding.
You know, anyway, I'm just kidding.
I will
No,
say,
but I mean,
if
people
they,
send us DMs and they do listen to them. So thank you for that. It's always fun to hear your feedback.
Yep, absolutely.
What were you going
I'm
to say,
gonna give,
Alexis?
I'm going to give everyone a challenge today, and thank you all for listening. But if we made you laugh or even cry or any of these emotions that we have gone through during this podcast, you should give us a share. Like, share it to your other lash artist buddies. Give us a shout out, because we don't make any money off this show. Isn't that crazy, Coranda? Like, we're not
True.
making that $2,000
I know, what the
Yeah,
heck?
where's
of
my
our
$2,000
knowledge.
Alexis?
Yeah.
$2,000 for this podcast. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, hand it over.
So I think I'm just gonna say spread the love and keep, growing our podcasts organically, and we'll keep giving you free content.
For sure. Or if you have like a friend who, is struggling with, back problems or is struggling with like retention, whatever, send it to them. Because then, it's always nice to be able to share the tips and tricks of the trade. Or if you have content ideas, send them to us, because
Absolutely.
we love to know what you guys want to hear about.
Awesome. I second that. And I know Christine thirds that. So
Absolutely.
thank you guys so much. And I will see you guys again next week for another amazing podcast.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
I love you guys.